Hey, it's another. It's a beautiful Wednesday night. It's another episode of Drone Brews. This is season number 2, in case if you lost count, because I know I sure as hell did. Tonight, we are drinking Left Hand Brewing. This is a peanut butter cup. Looks to be pretty good. It's a milk stout, so we're going to go ahead and crack it open. I tried frosting a glass, and it didn't work. So let's see how this is. This is new. I've not tried this, so we'll ASMR. Fuck me, that was. Oh, it smells delicious. Get every last drop. All right, now that we have every last drop, let's go ahead and take a look at who's in the chat tonight. Ooh, that's pretty good. All right, see, we got Director Dave Paul, we got Steven Winters, Quadcopters and Tech, Arco Drone Solutions in the chat, Lauren Donner, Uncle Lauren Donner, Big Water UAV Solutions, Intel Maxwell, Matt is Drone World, Johnny Drone Flyer. Good to see you, my friend. Matt is Drone World. We've got Joe Fatello, B-Man FPV, Matt Bagwell. We got Dan NWC FPV. I'm just slurring all sorts of shit. This is not beer number 1. That should be no surprise. We got Fly Turbo Quad, Matt Bagwell, Crop Dust and Drone, and Go Play Online. How's everybody doing tonight? We have 58 people in the chat right now. I'm sure it'll heat up as the night goes. Brad Henderson, good evening, sir. Good evening. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to run this sort of like a UAV. No, we're going to run this like a Q&A. But we're going to talk about some of the things that Autel recently had announced. We'll talk about why they were announced now and when you could expect these things based upon information that I have, and sort of I'll give you some pricing details as well. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the most recent post that was just put out today. So let me go ahead and share the screen here. If you don't follow Autel on Facebook, you probably won't see these things, but let's go ahead and share the screen. There it is. So on 9/28, this is not when the drones are available, so don't take 9/28/21 as the drone is shipping at that point. This is just when you'll find the details, and Autel's videos will go live at that point. Influencer videos will go live thereafter, a little while after, because they want to avoid confusion as far as shipping times goes. These are going to be shipping in late October. So it goes live 9/28, and late October is when they will be shipping. So Evo Nano, and then you'll have the Nano or Evo Lite, which basically Lite is going to also have the new chipset. So it's going to be V2, which it's not going to work with your hardware that you have now if you are an Autel fan. So this is sort of a way they're skirting around that as well. So as far as the specs goes, they've kept a lot of that under wraps. However, the Nano is going to ship with 2 different sensors, which will come in at 2 different price points. If you're somebody who was really, really hoping for a super cheap Evo, you'll probably be disappointed. Currently, Autel's lineup is roughly about $999 for the 8K. You can find them for about $999, but on a good day, they're about $1,200. These are going to start off at about $600 and flare up from there. So it's not going to be mini pricing. If you were hoping for a mini price, you're not going to see that here. These are not the same. They're not even in the same league as the mini. They're packing specifications that the mini doesn't have. Hence, you're going to find a higher than normal price point, starting price point $599. So just an FYI for you. So it's going to be interesting when they are available, and there's a lot that I'm excited about for them, but a lot that I'm sort of like, I was hoping for a more affordable option, but they're not really competing. They're not really competing in the same capacity that the Mavic Mini is. The Mavic Mini is a budget drone, super budget, super beginner, and this is not that. This is something a little bit more intermediate. So this I would say more or less directly competes with the Mavic Air, the Mavic Air 2, not necessarily the Air 2S, but the Air. So I think a lot of people will be happy with that. At least Autel fans will be really happy about that. So I think it'll be a good thing when it does become available. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people are looking for non-DJI options, and this is going to provide a solution. However, that solution is going to come at a little bit of a premium. Now, these devices were released sooner than they probably wanted to announce them. The announcement wasn't necessarily supposed to happen till the middle of October, but what happened was a bunch of Italian outlets were leaking a lot of information. A lot of information was being leaked out, and it sort of twisted Autel's hands to release this, announce this a little sooner, because their philosophy is, if somebody's going to rain on our parade, it might as well be us. We might as well be the one that gives that information out. We might as well be the one to announce it versus somebody else leaking this information, and then there'd be a lot of misinformation and a lot of questions, because dealers get questions all the time about when is this going to be available, and then the influx of calls at Autel saying, hey, what's the deal with this? So that's why they're ramping this up to 9/28. So hopefully you can understand that. Let me look here. Crashed my Mavic Air 2 again. I got it from DroneWorks and got the Air 2S today. Good choice on the Air 2S. It's definitely one of my favorite drones of 2021 for sure. These are going to be really interesting. I think these are going to appeal to a lot of different people. You know, the Nano is really great because you got that compact sensor, and then you have that 1/2-inch sensor. So that one's going to be different price points. The pricing is going to be about $100 difference. So I think with that $100 difference, I think that's going to be tantalizing to enough of people to just jump to that 1/2-inch sensor to get that 4K. I want you to think of Evo 1. Think of Evo 1 quality when you think of the Nano. So think of Evo 1. That's the type of quality that you can expect from that. Beer is amazing tonight. Tonight's beer, this beer is definitely, this is Dobo approved beer. All right, let's go ahead and let me read some of these questions here. The Xeno Mini was $569, so not cheap. Autel will do what the same, or what the specs say. Big difference. So yeah, and the biggest difference is with the Mini, the Xeno Mini, is the customer support sucks. Hubsan's support just absolutely sucks. Look at how many drones Hubsan has recently put out. They never fix the issues with their previous drones. The one thing I will give Autel credit for is that they do listen to and they read almost every single comment. When I was at Commercial UAV just a few weeks ago in Las Vegas, I got to spend some time with the owner of Autel, and the thing that I learned from spending the time with him is that they're very prideful of the product that they're trying to produce. But not only that, they want to be a better software company. So hardware is one thing, but they really want to get the software down pat and become a software company as well. So I think that's really interesting, what they're trying to do, and I think they'll achieve it. They have the money, they have the resources to do it. So I think it's going to be interesting to see it play out. And the biggest thing is, like I even stressed to them, was the time frame. Like if you say you're going to release something at X time, make sure that that product is available. Don't string your patrons along, because that's the biggest thing. It's a joke. Like people are always like, oh yeah, Autel, maybe it will launch someday. Maybe it will launch someday, but then that day, usually takes months and months. And by that point, people have moved on, right? As to where DJI announces a product and then 2 weeks later it's in people's hands. So we'll hopefully have to see if that holds true. 9/28 is the announcement day. I expect firmly, I'd say about 3 to 4 weeks after the announcement, we should see those in people's hands. Like I said, about a week prior, we should see influencer videos start launching. Obviously, they don't want videos to go live before that, because then it's just going to create a absolute feeding frenzy with people calling them and inundating them with questions that they don't necessarily have to answer right now. So yeah, I think that's good. I see producer Paul has entered the stream, or maybe he hasn't. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with his camera. It seems like he has a lot of camera issues lately. We'll wait and see if he shows back up. Yep, the Evo Light was with a 1-inch sensor, so it looks to be promising enough anyways. He's probably messing with his white balance, knowing him. I have no idea. Will the Autel Light have a 1-inch sensor option? I believe it will. I just don't think that I don't think the gimbal will be the same quality gimbal that you find on the Evo 2 Pro. We'll put it that way. I think they've made some compromises to shave price and obviously to shave weight. So that's a whole nother aspect. So I think it's going to be a good buy though. But the question will be is like, do you want a really super small compact drone, or do you want something that has like specifications that are just, I don't know, just a little bit better than the Nano, but not quite as good as the Pro? I mean, we'll have to see when they get into people's hands. DJI looks to be getting bent over on the mini market. I think that I don't think they're getting bent over. I think what happened was when they announced the DJI Mini the first time, they intended it to be a budget option. And I don't think they necessarily knew how popular the Mini was going to be, right? When the Mini came out, it was hugely successful. It was a massive success. It was probably my most popular video, and it was the most affordable drone. So a lot of people flocked to that. I don't think DJI knew what they had at that time. And what happened was you had like Hubsan and you had all these other manufacturers, salivating, thinking to themselves, holy shit, here we have something that people want. We have a drone that we can make that's affordable. We can make these things sub 249 grams, and, we're going to sell a shit ton of them. And that's what Hubsan tried to do. Problem with Hubsan is they don't have great marketing. Their marketing sucks. Their customer support is a shit show. And then they have a product that is just half baked and just has too many problems right out of the gate. And I don't care what any reviewer says. There's a few people that really know what's up with Hubsan. I just saw, if I'm not mistaken, QC guy got copyright striked by them and somebody else, which I think is an absolute shit show. That sucks that even happened, because he's somebody who's really like sort of pushed that brand and really been a good like advocate for them, and to get shit on like that, that's terrible. Will the Evo 3 be far behind? It's tough to say. I mean, they're probably going to play out and see what happens with the Mavic 3. I think that's a wait and see. Right now, they're playing catch up with their lineup, Autel. They want to make sure that they get their most current drones updated. They've also, made some changes to the color. That was another thing. Remember those surveys that went out a couple of months back? So those surveys are where a lot of this really took place. So I think it's going to be interesting. Trying to get caught up here on the chat. I apologize. We're going to be, I will be in New York. I'll be in Long Island on Saturday. I'll actually be there till Sunday, but Sunday I'm going to be, I have a wedding to be at on Sunday, not my wedding. And then I'm flying out pretty early Monday morning. I actually fly into Long Island at 2. I'll be landing at 2 p.m. on Friday. So I may have a little bit of time. If somebody is around on Friday, you want to get together, have a beer, whatever, I may be around for that on Friday. But Saturday, we do plan on flying. I just got word that I have more time to fly than I thought I did on Saturday. So that's a good thing. So I'm charging batteries right now as we speak. Let's see. Let's see. Evo 3 for a CES 2022 release. That is a possibility. I have not seen anything about the Evo 3 at all. I don't think we would see it at CES. I don't think we would see it at CES. I think what we would see is the Nano and the Lite. Autel is notorious for basically bringing the same thing that they've released. And because the Nano and the Lite are going to be released in like the November, October area, I think you'll see those drones debuted at CES along with some of their commercial applications. I know hobbyists get really excited about CES, but another big thing about CES is the commercial side of things. A lot of people look at what are you bringing to the commercial world. So I think we'll see some new drones for them, but I don't think we'll see Evo 3. Not at CES 2022. Definitely not. Have I heard from Randall? I have. I heard from him once since he has left Autel, and that was it. That was the last time I heard from him. I heard from him once, and it was something about a video, and that was it. Yeah, we definitely got a little more time. Will I be reviewing the Nano and Nano Lite? Yes, I will be reviewing the Nano. I should have one of each color too, so which will be good. Just this is the first time we're getting drones since the X-Star that are going to be something other than orange, which I'm really excited about. When I had the X-Star, I bought the white version of the X-Star. I didn't want the orange version at all. And I was really happy with the white version. So I'm really stoked that there's going to be a red version. There's going to be a gray version. So I'm excited that they're finally bringing colors to the table. I think it gives people choice. And I think that's great. So we'll probably see, I think the white and the gray versions will be pretty popular. The red one looks pretty interesting too, though. Yeah, so the controller is going to be a little bit different, and I think that's probably going to be the biggest drawback. It's sort of got like a Parrot, Anafi, Skydio design, which, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But the transmission's going to be it's going to be better than what we've seen. So we're still going to get the dual band transmission. So I think that's important. So, yo, Prinks, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the support, man. I really do. Dibs on the red or white version. Lon, the day you buy an Autel product, I will cry. I will cry if you buy an Autel product. I mean, that may really be the day. Let me see what's going on with Paul. He's all fucked up.
Good freaking night.
What happened?
I don't know. It was like staying black. I had to restart the camera and
you know what it is. It's because you have a Sony.
No,
my Fuji's so reliable. I've left here on a Wednesday. I shit you not. I've left here on a Wednesday. Actually, funny as shit. I went to Vegas and I left this camera on from the point I left on a Wednesday to the point I came back. So like the whole time I was in Vegas, this camera was on and it works beautiful. I mean, Fuji is just timeless. Fuji is timeless.
I don't know I don't know if it was a cable. I took everything apart and put it all back together, and it magically worked. All of a sudden,
dude, I love Fuji. Just something about Fuji. You can beat the shit out of it.
That Fuji juice. Well, I missed a lot tonight. Thanks,
Kyle. Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, there was a lot of people I didn't get a chance to meet in Vegas. I got screwed when I was at Vegas. I was only at the event for a little while, but I wish there were so many people I wanted to meet. I just didn't get a chance. There was so much shit going on. There was so much shit going on in Vegas. I couldn't. And then I lost my debit. And then I lost my debit card, and that really sucked.
It seemed like there's a lot going on in
oh, you know what, Paul? I think I've screwed up, dude. I think when I've been uploading this shit, you know, when we schedule these streams, yeah, I fucked up. I've been leaving it in 720p. I've totally forgot. I've been leaving this in 720p. I did that when I was in Vegas. What's that?
So it hasn't been my internet the entire time. It's because it looks terrible, right?
Yeah, no. It's because when I was in Vegas, I switched it to 720p because I wasn't really sure about the hotel Wi-Fi. So I was like, you know what? If we're going to be streaming, I'm not going to stream in 1080p. I might as well just stream in 720 just so I can have a stable connection. I fucked that up. That was my fault.
Good job.
That was my fault. No, we were just talking about Autel's been, you know, dropping little tidbits here and there with the Evo Light and the Nano. You know, obviously
the colors. I mean, it's cute, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I think they're trying to be fun.
Help sell this thing.
I think so, man. I think so. People hated the orange. People don't like the orange. People like choice. Like if somebody says, hey, we have a choice of what color you want, it makes you feel like you're more a part of the buying process, like the process of choosing something that fits your personality.
I mean, it works for Apple, so maybe it'll work for all.
It works for Apple, right? It works for Apple.
What do you think? So, I mean, I don't know if maybe I already missed this, but what do you think these specs are? You think it's going to be anything fantastic? You think it could blow the DJI Mini out of the water?
Oh, it's definitely. So it depends on which Nano you go with. So they have, thank you 808. I appreciate it, man. I think it's going to be depending on which one you go with. If you go with the 1/2-inch sensor, then yeah, you're going to get better specifications. But if you go with the compact sensor, then you're going to get, you know, okay specs. I think either way, it's going to be better than what DJI is offering, just simply because we have obstacle avoidance. The build quality is better. I know what the build quality is like, and it's definitely a lot better. It doesn't feel cheap, and that's why I say it's not. I feel like they're not necessarily targeting that super budget audience. They're not targeting that super budget audience.
It's not $399 or anything like that.
Right, it's not $399, and they don't have to be $399, and I don't think they want to be $399. You know, cheap is good, but cheap isn't great.
So is the cheapest one essentially an Evo 1?
No, the Nano is still going to be the cheapest. The compact sensor, the Nano, the one with the smallest sensor, the one that's not capable of shooting 4K is going to be the cheapest. That's going to be the cheapest, but cheap still is like $599.
So you're saying that the cheapest Nano won't even be able to shoot 4K?
No.
Now, is the more expensive one, what is that going to be? What
would be $100 more
equivalent to?
I'm saying that it'll be equivalent to the Air 2.
Air 2.
Yeah, Air 2 equivalent.
So they're redesigning this whole thing. It's not like they're not just putting like an Evo.
No, they're not. They're not reusing. There's nothing. They're not. This is not reusing anything. Same thing for the Lite, the Evo Lite. It's not a reused anything. It's not. Nothing on that is reused at all. Nothing is reused. So I mean, that we can see internally, maybe could a processor be reused? Maybe. But we have the new chipset on board, so it's now compliant, Blue compliant. If that's worth anything for a hobbyist, we'll get the dual band. So that is a big thing. That is one of the big improvements that I've noticed with the version 2 Evo that I've been using the past couple of weeks. Is that dual band just really improves the range and the overall signal back down to my RC, I don't have quite as many hiccups and stutters. It just looks better. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Huh.
Price point has to compete. See, that's the thing. People have this mentality that it has to compete. Autel, like when I asked them about like DJI, they basically looked at me and said, we don't give a fuck about DJI. We don't care. We're doing our own thing. Like people think they have to compete. Like they don't have to compete. The reality is that the money that they are doing, this is like research for them. Their whole robotics side is research, right? Like they don't care. They have no shortage of money when it comes to the robotics division. Their scanner and their automotive industry funds the robotics industry. They expect that for the first, 7-8 years that they will lose money on this until they figure out what they want to do. I was absolutely blown away. But hey, that's what companies do. These are pet projects for them. This is a pet project for them.
Right.
So they don't care. And I think that people have to stop thinking that brands have to compete with one another. People can do their own thing in the same space and not have to care what DJI is doing. DJI is going to do whatever DJI wants to do. Parrot's going to do whatever Parrot's going to do. That's like Skydio saying, hey, well, we have to worry about what DJI is doing. We have to compete with DJI. Skydio don't give a shit. Skydio is a software company, and Adam will tell you that firsthand. We're a software company that happens to make hardware as well, and they have the only trick in town when it comes to automation like that. Skydio rules that field. So Autel has got the only trick in town with the fact that their drones don't come with any sort of restrictions, and they don't have any nagging. They don't have any logging. So there's reason people flock to that, right? There's reason people flock to that. They did some crazy money last year. Do you realize that even if they lost, let's just put it this way, even if they lost $250,000 by creating the Nano, right? Even if they lost $250,000 on the Nano, they sell 3 dragonfishes. They just made that money back. By selling 3 dragonfishes. If you guys haven't been watching the news recently, you probably saw this whole Gabby Petito case, and they were searching for her. They got so much free press. Autel got so much free press because guess what drone was highlighted? Not the Matrice. It was the dragonfish. And guess who's buying the dragonfish? Not consumers. Places that have a shit ton of endless cash flow. Police departments. So they don't give a shit. It's just like I never got that mentality when I was thinking to myself, when I first started in drones, I would think, companies would have to compete with one another, but the reality is they don't. And more so now as we get into this world of commercial drones, that's even more true now than ever. It's more true now than ever that they don't have to compete.
When are these? Do they have a release date yet? Do we have anything speculated?
Technically the release is 9/28. 9/28 is the release. That's going to be the media release from Autel, and they're controlling this 100%, right? And then, in 3 weeks after that, then you'll see the shipping of the actual drones. By that point, people will be in a bit of a complex because what will happen is at that point, I'm sure we'll have more confirmed leaks from the Mavic 3, and then we'll find out a confirmed date for that. So people may hold up and say, well, wait a second, what do I want to decide to do? Do I want to drop, whatever the Mavic 3 is going to be? That's going to be an expensive drone. It's going to be probably, upwards to $1,700, maybe more. Or do I want to hold back and maybe I want to go with the Evo? So people will have a lot of choice, but I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting.
Kyle Miller asks, how important, though, that Autel has an open API for flight? I think that's incredibly important for a lot of app developers. That want to integrate with Autel. And that's the other thing, too, is that they're they're working closer and closer with partners like Skybrowse, for instance. Bobby's company's made an app directly for Autel. So people are starting to take what they have seriously, but that is true. They have an open API now, which is important. So I think it's going to be, what the fuck? I just noticed that. Thank you for whoever caught that. Did you see that? Who is that? Ban that son of a bitch from the channel.
Heck?
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, yeah, okay, somebody hit him. God, that's fucking disgusting. I just saw that. What the fuck?
Ugh.
Dude, those are the type of people I'd love to just like kick in the face. Like, just drop kick him in the face. Just fucking hold him out, drop kick him. Yeah, that's why I have enough of mods.
What do you think this is going to be one of their better releases? Like, I know that in the past they've been like, oh, we're going to release this, and then it takes them forever to actually get this or shipped out. You think it's going to be one of the better ones?
I don't think it's going to be quite as bad. You know, here's what I think's happened over the course of, you know, let's say three plus years of Autel announcing a drone, and then it's stumbling. So they've had 2 releases that have just totally been botched. Evo 1 was a complete shit show. We see it at CES 2019. No, 2018 we saw it. And it didn't release
like a year to get it out, right?
Yeah, and we didn't see it until the summer, June to be exact. June, we didn't see it. So 6 months later, we finally saw that. Then with the Evo 2, I thought when I saw it at CES 2020, I said, you know what? This is going to be it. They're going to get it right.
That was a cool view. On the helicopter? Oh, yeah. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was fun. And I thought to myself, you know what? This is going to be the year that Autel just gets it right. They're going to get this shit out. And why did I hear vibration? I'm charging batteries, so I'm trying to be mindful of that too. I thought to myself, you know what? It's going to be the year that they get it right. And of course, COVID hits, and it obviously it screws a lot of people's plans up, right? Like, we're just now seeing the Evolve 2, probably one of the most overpriced drones that I've ever seen, just now go up for pre-order. They're going to start shipping them in October, but that's just now going up for sale. Who's going to buy that? That's now a 2-year-old piece of tech that they really haven't shown anything amazing from that. You know, I don't know. I just I don't really think very highly of that drone either, but we'll see. The COVID pandemic, it hasn't, and it's something that's been lingering. But what didn't help Autel even more so was the fact that they were using a chipset that was going to basically be blacklisted. It was going to be blacklisted, so they had to basically resource everything and almost reimagine how they were going to sell a product and find a new chipset, and then tell their existing user base, oh, by the way, there's no more forward compatibility. That was a shit show. But I mean, those are growing pains. Those are growing pains that they're going to have to determine and work around going forward. Those are just things that sometimes you just grow around. DJI had similar things as they were figuring out what they were going to do. Autel has a little bit of footing right now, but we'll see how it goes.
And we're what 3 years away from remote ID?
Yeah, we're still a long ways away. So if somebody's buying a drone now, they're not
really worrying about.
I haven't even thought about remote ID at all, because 3 years away. By that point, things can change all over again, and it is what it is. Oh, there's the batteries right now.
The batteries. What is this batteries we speak of?
What's that? No, I'm charging batteries, Paul.
What batteries are you charging? You can go fly in the middle of the stream?
No, dude. I told you I'm going to New York. I'm going to New York on Friday.
You gotta get everything ready, huh?
Well, you know, it's like, if I know I'm not going to be in the office, like tomorrow, I'm probably not going to be in the office very much. So I'm trying to charge 3 packs every time I know I'm going to be in the office for at least 2 hours. I charge 3 packs. My goal is I want to bring, 10 or 11 packs with me ready to go, so I can just like rip. Now, I know the guys there, they have batteries too. So it's like, if I need batteries, I can borrow batteries, but I'd rather not. I'd rather have like 10 in the hole ready to go. I mean, that's the goal. Paul, your audio's too low.
Is that better?
That's a little better. Yeah. I mean, you're coming in a little better now at that point.
Crank it up a little bit.
Wait, does that include the Evo 2 that was falling apart? I got to get caught up here. 5,000 flights. Batteries for. Oh, I guess he's talking about that. Not for us. Manufacturers have to present their options requesting remote ID by then. Yeah, I think we'll be okay with remote ID at this point. I'm not even concerned about it.
No,
it's just not. It's not something. There's a lot of solutions that are available. I saw Air Maps no longer LANC approved, so that's pretty funny. They fucked themselves really good. Air Maps did.
Air Maps.
Yeah, they screwed up big time. We're gonna be where the hell are we gonna be? We're gonna be somewhere in Long Island. I think somewhere in Nassau County. I think we're gonna start out we're going to Pilgrim Mental Ward or Pilgrim State Hospital or something like that. I think it's an abandoned mental ward. It looks amazing. There's some crazy lines there. I'm super stoked to fly it. I've been wanting to fly that for a while. Mike, what's going on, man? I see Unbox Warehouse in the
Where have I seen that before?
Erod's been out there a couple times.
Has Billy flown in this before?
No, he's never flown here. This one's weird. So it's crazy story. The last time I was up there, it was like winter time. It was winter time, and I was meeting with Eddie. Eddie and I met up like just to fly. We were flying Mavics and not really doing anything, just more or less bullshitting. But I was telling Eddie, I was like, I want to go to Pilgrim State Hospital and fly, and he was like, oh yeah. He goes, you got to be careful. He goes, because I guess they found like dead bodies there. Like, I don't know. Apparently there's some pretty ridiculous gangs or something there. I don't know. I was trying to understand like what they were talking about, but I'm like, well, if I go in a group, even if they're wielding machetes, who has the better option of surviving? The person with the machete or the person with the flying machete that would cut your face? I think I would survive. We just slam our flying machetes into their faces, and then they don't survive. They don't live. There's no scenario where a gang member coming at me with a machete, me flying my flying machete, is going to win. There's nothing.
Eddie, did you get your R3 yet?
Paul, that's terrible.
Well, maybe we should like put his R3 on your FPV drone that you just made, your Cine FPV drone, and see if you can crash it and it survive like Peter McKinnon.
Who watches that guy?
I don't know.
Not
camera
my
losers
audience.
like me, I guess.
Not my audience. My audience, they know better. They're here.
Anyway, State, I would love to come to Hawaii. That sounds like a
Hawaii
blast.
is going to be amazing. I'm excited and honored that 808 State is allowing me to stay at his Casa della Hawaii. So, and we have to. I'm taking him with me on this. We're going to do a shoot while we're there. So he's going to be my visual observer while we're there.
Nice.
So it's going to be a good time. I am super stoked to go, but I'm not super stoked to be in a plane for 12 hours. That is a long ass flight. That is a long ass
brutal.
Flight.
Is it direct flight?
It is not. Chris, we are drinking Left Hand Brewing. This is a peanut butter stout. No, it's yes. So I fly from Tampa. I land in Seattle. I don't have any time to leave the airport to go get some hors d'oeuvres. You can get some gummies. And then
eat those gummies.
I would eat like 12 of them for that flight. Jump on that flight and then head to Kona. That's where I'm going to be landing. And the COVID protocols are insane. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to go online. I had to register all this information about myself. They wanted vaccination records, all this stuff you have to register. And then you have to show proof of it. And then they're going to swab your asshole. And then after they swab your asshole, they finger it one time just to make sure everything's okay. So it's Yes. Hey, Matt, I did get it, brother. I did get it. Sorry, I'm really bad with mail. I check the mailbox like twice. I do. I am so bad with the mailbox. You know what it is? It's the added effort of a key. My mailbox has a key, and I have to walk to the mailbox. I have to unlock it. I have to open it. It's a fucking lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to check the mail. But I did get it, dude. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It was very good quality, too, at that. Matt made me a shirt. He does screen printing.
Oh.
Pretty damn good quality.
Made you a shirt for Dobo? Like your channel?
No, it's something else, but I'll show it to you.
Oh, okay.
Something else. All right, let me go back up to this. Brad said he did 9-hour flight from Dallas to London. That would suck. 9 hours. That's a long time.
How are these sticks going to be on these Autel controllers?
I don't know.
Are they going to be any good?
The dicks? I mean, they could be okay. I don't know. Everybody loves a good thick feel.
I'm trying to set you up for it. You know.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're trying to do. I knew what you were trying to do. I knew what you were trying to do. Listen, I'm sure the sticks feel fine, Paul. I'll tell you what. When we're allowed to do it, then you and I will film it. I need you to be the camera. You can hold a real camera in the GH5 too. Okay.
Ooh. GH5 too.
GH5 too. How about that?
Feel the stabilization.
Just feel the stabilization. Shakes as it shakes the earth.
There's no autofocus. That's all. But I guess a real cameraman can autofocus.
The island with the great fishing. Catch marling right outside the harbor.
Is Autel going to use Explorer for all the new drones?
I believe so. They show no sign of switching from Explorer. They're just going to continuously add, sort of like Fly App is. For them to reimagine and reinvent an entirely new application would be a lot of work, considering how many engineers they have and just understanding their team as a whole. For them to make an application like DJI has a lot of engineering power behind them. Autel doesn't quite have that many engineers. You can probably count on both hands how many engineers they have. Where DJI, I would need your hands, my hands, plus Lon's hands. So,
goodbye, back from the sky. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you would have to have. You can count on both hands. You can count on probably one hand how many engineers my work has, and they're like the second largest employer in Central Florida. Go figure.
DJI stopped color drones after the Spark. Any thoughts? I think they just wanted something a little bit more serious. I think the Spark screamed fun. I think they made a mistake not coloring drones. Like, it would have been cool to see a lime green mini or something, or an orange mini or something. I don't know. I think that would have been fun to see them do. But
it'll be interesting now to see if they do that. Now that Autel,
they may, but it costs money. But that's the problem: is those dyes, to add that dye into the plastic and everything, that costs money. So, and then you have to have different packaging. So I understand why they didn't do that, but I bet you we see something similar like that in 2022. I don't think it'd be a while, but I think it'd be 2022.
Are these going to be like a glossy finish or like a
glossy finish? I think probably satin. It seems like a lot of people do satin. I think Autel learned from their mistake with the Evo. One of my biggest gripes with the Evo, the original Evo, was it was so freaking shiny. It used to get scratched up. The props would scratch it up. Like it didn't take much effort to make it look like shit. You know, you can scratch it up and it just didn't look that great after a period of time. I mean, I like the matte finish of the Evo. I really do. I like the matte finish of it. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, Intel Max. I think the Air One was a really cool design as well. These kind of look kind of reminiscent of the
sort
first
of. They have some
DJI
styling.
Air.
They have some styling to it, but I mean, they're still very much Evo at heart. I think they still have that design. If you ask Zach what he thinks of these, he thinks they look like he calls them Porsche designs. That's what he calls it, is a Porsche. The very first time I heard and saw the Evo 2, it was like summer of 2019, and I remember we were at Autel's office, and Zach kept pushing them. They're like, show them the show him the Porsche design, show him the Porsche. So he like made them show it. But that's what he kept saying, and he was hammering him. He's persistent. He's super persistent. Yeah, I like the Onyx Black. Man, that was nice too. I like the black, the Obsidian. The Obsidian Phantom 4 Pro was a sexy machine. That was, to me, that was the best looking drone that's been produced. Besides the Inspire 2, I think the Obsidian Phantom was gorgeous. That was like, yeah, Obsidian. It was black. It was just beautiful. Very much one of a kind. What kind of drones are they using to hunt Brian Landry? They are using a Autel Dragonfish actually. So Lee County Sheriff Department is using the Dragonfish. So yeah, and they have 2 of the Dragonfish. So we have one. We have one Dragonfish. We're going to be flying the Dragonfish tomorrow. So I should have a video out on the Dragonfish on Friday. So we're finally getting a chance to, it's finally stopped raining enough here. So tomorrow we'll be flying the Dragonfish. I'm going to be working on that video. It's a really impressive piece of machinery. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. The case, Paul, the case for the Dragonfish is freaking massive. It's super heavy. It's super heavy.
The drone is freaking ginormous. So
it is, and it takes a while to set up. That's the only thing that I don't like about the Dragonfish is how long it takes to set up. But you have to make sure everything's good before you take off.
What's the battery life on that bad boy?
You can fly for like an hour 45 on it.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it is crazy. But it's considered a VTOL. So it flies a little bit differently than a drone. It doesn't really rely on hover in the same capacity. So it gets a lot of assistance. So, but it's amazing, and it can sit there and loiter. And I mean, yeah, you can get some crazy flight times out of it. I mean, we've gotten some pretty solid times out of it in Vegas testing. It's interesting. They also have the Dragonfish Lite that doesn't get quite as good battery life, but that's for people that like a company that wants to spend a little bit less. They have that option. But we have the ground station. We've got the whole thing, so we can do 17 miles range out of this one that we have. So this is the full package. So is it harder to fly? No, it flies. I mean, it's pretty similar to flying a quad. To be honest with you, it operates in the same capacity. There's some minor differences, but for the most part, it flies just like a quad. You just got to be a little bit more mindful with the wind and things like that. You just, I don't know, you got to be a little bit more thoughtful with stuff, but it's same thing. Has a different controller than the Evo 2. Has 2 props. It's, it literally looks like a plane, takes off like a drone, and once it starts flying, it operates more like a plane more than anything.
Interesting.
So, yeah, but it's still, the yaw and everything is still the same as a quad. So it's pretty cool though. And they're doing some interesting things with the software on that. What does it have for a camera? So it has a zoom lens on it. So it's not going to be something that like you're going to be filming and doing cinematic work with. It's like, think Z30. So Z30 camera, that's what the Dragonfish has. It's sort of like a Z30. Magnetic Interference says the MS-13 gang are responsible for the stories you're hearing about Pilgrim State. Yeah. I will definitely be not, well, you can't pack in New York, so you're sort of fucked. So I'll just have a quad. That is some scary shit right there. Yeah, so it's a VTOL. So if you haven't looked it up, look it up. There's not a lot of videos out on there. I mean, you can see it flying. You can see the videos from Lee County that they put up. I mean, they've really done. How many rockets does it hold? That's funny. Intel Maxwell says more at night. Well, good. We're definitely not going to be there at night. I would not be caught dead there at, well, that's probably the wrong way to even say it, but I wouldn't be there at night at all. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you bringing your illegal firearms for share use. Does it count that I have a concealed weapons permit here in Florida? Does that work? No, it doesn't work. I don't know. I've never understood that. I never understood with New York, that you couldn't protect yourself in one of the more dangerous places. I never understood that. Just never understood that. Such a weird thing. The rules state to state just always kill me.
Confusing.
It is really confusing. It is really confusing. What's going on, Rogerio? I got the last thing. I did get hola.
Mike, the wife needed him for something really quick. Well, that was
well, for Mike, it probably doesn't take but a really quick second.
1, 2, 3, blast off.
If a new smart controller comes out alongside the Mavic 3, I hope it works with the Air 2S. We'll have to wait and see. Lots of leaks coming out, but you know what's funny? We're not seeing any photos of this Mavic 3. We're seeing a lot of consistent renders.
And like drawings, hand drawings.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of hand drawings, but they're all consistent with one another, right? So I almost wonder if people are not taking photos, if they're afraid like DJI has somehow marked the quads that they sent out to people or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. So weird that we're seeing so many hand drawings. I've never seen so many renders for like a pre-release. No, I'm not drunk. I'm fine. I've had only 2 beers. I would say these are 6.2% by volume. There's that. I've actually cut back. I'm only drinking 3 beers a day.
Only 3.
Only 3. Well, it's only 3 on Wednesday. 3 on Wednesday plus 2 more on Wednesday. So, will the M3 have OcuSync 3? I would imagine it would. I don't know. I don't have an M3 in hand to say specifically, but if it did, that would be cool. I would imagine that DJI would make these backwards compatible. They've done it in the past, so I mean, I wouldn't think they wouldn't do it. Why are they lying for my PS5? I don't play video games. I don't have time to play video games. I play video games in real life flying FPV. Hang a sex doll from a drone and fly it near a feminist protester. I'm going to pass on that one. Anybody else want to grab that one? They can. They killed one of their members and they were hanging on theirs and they were back in 2018. Not the case anymore. I've flown there several times. No issues. All right, cool deal. I'm looking forward to flying there and maybe a couple of other spots while I'm up there. You know, I got batteries. Batteries are already starting to charge, so we're making progress.
Do you think the Mavic 3 will be released before the end of the year?
Absolutely.
They kind of have to. I mean, right? I mean,
it's definitely going to be released before the end of the year. So let's think about things historically. Let's talk about the past. Let's talk about the past 2 Novembers. So for the past 2 Novembers, what have we seen? We've seen a Mavic Mini, right? The past 2 Novembers, we've seen historically DJI releases a cheaper drone in the Mavic Mini. Now, the reason why we're not going to see a Mavic Mini this year is because they released that Mini SE, and it was really super affordable, and we also got the Air 2S. But while their flagship drone has not received an update in over 3 years, hasn't received an update in over 3 years' time. Like, they haven't released anything. They haven't touted anything. 3 years have come and gone, and they've been using the same airframe, even on the advanced versions. November is going to definitively, I'd say, be the release date for that drone. Right before Christmas, they'll slide it in there, even though the price point is going to be ridiculous. People are going to buy the living shit out of it. Right before the holiday, people are going to slide in there and buy that. They're going to buy it. So Definitely. What's it going to have that different? I don't know. Hopefully, when you open the box, it gives you a reach around and a rub and tug. I'm not really sure.
I mean, it looks like they're going to have like 2 camera sensors on it, and
Tough to
obviously
say.
they're going to have better active tracking. Hopefully, with
Yeah,
these
I mean,
sensors.
maybe it's all possible. It's all possible. Hey, did that guy who carried the kid by a drone and crashed get in trouble? You know, I have not heard anything about that incident at all. Have not heard at all. No, I mean, that video's been out for a while, so there's a good chance that maybe he's been investigated before. Really tough to say. Yeah, I don't think J-Mo, I'll tell him. I'm gonna tell him I know you, man. So they won't even mess with you. They, J-Mo.
Will the Mavic 3 be on the Fly app or the Go 4 app?
I think the Go 4 app is pretty much dead.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much dead. Why do they have to? The previous conversations was about drone companies don't need to compete. DJI is doing very well right now. Yeah, they don't have to compete. I don't think DJI thinks about competition. I don't even think they think that they have to compete. I think that DJI sees what other companies are doing and they want to add features like obviously Skydio, for instance, that autonomy. They would want to do that. They see that that's the future, right? Like autonomy is going to be the future of drones. They want that. They don't have the technology there. They have amazing technology, but what they lack is the algorithms to make it do what the Skydio does. That's next level shit. That's next level shit. While Skydio lacks the overall flight features and cinematography of a DJI drone. So I don't think anybody needs to compete. So I don't think anybody needs to compete. They don't have to compete. And I think that's important that you as a consumer or anybody as a consumer understands that companies don't have to compete with one another. I mean, I think they admire what companies do to a certain extent, but it was interesting as I walked around, like even commercial UAV, it was cool to see the companies that were there. They get along so well with everybody else. Like you didn't feel like you were in a hostile environment. You didn't feel like that there was a competition. You didn't feel like I don't know. It's hard to say. It's the same ways like here on YouTube. One of the most common things I used to see a long time ago was like, oh. You and 51 Drones started your channels around the same time and Russ blew past you. And I said, okay, that's great. I'm not competing with Russ. I don't care what, I'm super happy his channel's successful, but my channel does what it does when it does it. Like everybody has its own time. And I think companies are the same way. Things happen, in the right increments for them. Like Skydio blew up with the S2. They made it super affordable. Now it's not so affordable, but it's still a pretty amazing product, though. Actually, they do have to release it. They lost 15% market share, and that doesn't sit well with them. Again, these companies have shit ton of money to shed. The Chinese don't operate in the same capacity. I really wish like some of you could be on a fly on the wall in the conversations I've had sitting here with these companies. They don't value the money like that. They don't think about these things like that. They don't care. They have one goal on their mind is get something out and try to make it as best as they can. They're really, really prideful with their products. They really are. They just don't, but they don't really give a shit. It's ready when it's ready is like what I've understood from so many of them. It's ready when it's ready. And they, people are like, oh, they're rushing it. They're rushing it. No, they're not really. They release it when they feel it's ready or when they get a green light. They make money and, look at like the Osmo Mobile 5. That was that was a flop, but they're still going to sell it and people will still buy it. They have very little investment into that product. The other thing that DJI can do, DJI can almost build products on demand, right? Can you imagine having a warehouse at your disposal where you can crank out product almost on demand. So as people buy it, like in a week and a half, you can crank out enough to fulfill those orders. That's insane if you think about it.
It's crazy.
So they're only supplying what they need. It's crazy. The
improved battery life or
improved
technology
battery
may
life
be a
is going to be something that's necessary. Improved battery life, like we need to get to a point where battery tech can be sufficient. Like, and I'm not talking about 45 minutes. I'm talking about we need batteries that can be able to last for more than a year's time. You have some professionals that are flying every single day. Like myself, I fly every single day. I need a battery. I need to know that my batteries are not going to swell on me after 6 months of continuous use. Now, knock on wood, that has not been the case with the Air 2S batteries. I've had really good luck with these batteries, and I'm not babying them. I'm not doing anything specific. But the Mavic 2 Pro batteries, holy shit, those were some of the worst batteries that I've ever had in my entire life. They're just the worst. But that's not the case though with the Air 2S, and I don't know why that is. Nuclear batteries are a thing. God, I hope not. They will never get on the plane with those. We'll never get on the plane. Creative Visuals said, thanks for producing this awesome stuff. So much better than the ones I previously used, which were not sturdy. Dude, anytime,
he was talking
man.
about your GoPro mount.
Oh, yeah, dude. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, the GoPro that GoPro mount has been probably the most popular item that we've sold to date. Just to date, we've sold 345 GoPro mounts for the DJI FPV. 345 GoPro mounts for the DJI FPV, which is insane. So tomorrow we're releasing a new color for the mount, and we're releasing a new version. It's going to be called Kona Blue, and that'll be on the store tomorrow. So the color looks amazing. I really like it. I think it really sits well, and we're probably going to release battery covers that work for it as well. So it'll all match up. Dude, that's awesome. I'm glad you got that, man. I always get nervous every time I ship something internationally. I always get nervous, like, because I'm watching the shipping. Like, people think I don't watch the shipping. I watch the shipping all the time to see when things get there, especially international order. Who did you order your Slam Shendrone squirt from? I didn't order from anybody. I built that squirt. The Slam squirt, I built that from the ground up. I have 2 of them that I built. If somebody is wanting a Slam squirt, I'll do a custom one-off order from them, just providing that I can get all the components. I'll build it to spec exactly how I have mine. Like how I have mine, same tunes, same everything, same components. I'll build them. Probably about like a 1.5 week window to turn around, like from purchase to delivery.
Do you have any recommendations on 3D printers?
3D printers, I would say if you're going to get a 3D printer, look at the Ender 3 V2 and then convert it to direct drive. A good, like the Ender 3 V2s, the ones that I'm using, I use the Ender 3 V2, and then I bought a Creality direct drive, and then I bought the Creality BL Touch auto leveling sensor. So all in, I spent maybe about like $375 for the printer, but it is the most consistent printer I own. So $375, and it's perfect. It's perfect. See, Prusa is good. I have the Prusa Mini, but the Prusa Mini does not handle TPU very well. If you want to print TPU, you're going to have to go with the Prusa Mark III, which is $999. The vast majority of people don't want to spend $999 on a 3D printer, and they're not really sure they're going to like 3D printing. 3D printing can be really super frustrating because there's so much to learn. It's like a whole nother hobby. It took me like 3 months to really dial in my printers like perfectly, like to where I like, okay, when I see something happening, I'm like, okay, I know what's going on here. I know what's happening. And then I have, we have like 6 printers behind me. So I have to know what each of them are doing, and they're not all one-to-one. I can have 6 printers, and 6 printers need all these different configurations to make it work. Best 3D printer to use in Vegas? I have no fucking idea, you smartass. Fucking
Somebody
Adam.
asked, what do you know about the Unique Typhoon H Plus? I was given one the other day,
honestly,
and I know that
I stopped following Unique. Like, I stopped following Unique when they imploded. I just stopped following Unique. Quadcopters and tech, I'll try to help you the best I can. You can always message me on Instagram or message me on Twitter. I'll try to answer any questions you have as far as 3D printing goes to get you pointed in the right direction. It can be super frustrating, but it could also be really super rewarding if you're patient enough to learn like all the little quirks. Resin printers, oof. I've seen the resin printers. I'm not ready to leap into that. That's a mess. That is an absolute mess. The resin printers, oh my gosh, I don't even want to dabble in that. I've have a friend of mine, he's got a resin printer and he swears by them, but there's a lot of it smells. It's got a hell of a smell. Oh, you can help peeps. Yeah, man, for sure. If anybody needs it, hit up Quadcopters and Tech. Resin is a mess. And like for FPV, I have no use for resin, I don't think. I made some washers out of resin. I made washers from resin, but I'll never use resin again. I use my Prusa Mini for PLA, and then for TPU, I use basically Ender 3 V2s. It's been freaking flawless for me. I absolutely love my Ender 3s. Yeah, but I'm definitely not dabbling in resin at all. Fuck that. Let's see what else we got here. Blank says he loves resin printing. I don't know. I'm no layer lines. Yeah, I mean you do get a clean print, but man, I don't know. Flexible resin. I have no problems with TPU. Like I don't have any problems with that. Like that's most of what I'm printing now is TPU for quads. That's like 90% of the time I'm printing a mount or something. But yeah, I gotta get that. I gotta get photos up for that other shit that we're gonna release on Etsy tomorrow. I'll release it and then I go away, and it's like I gotta backfill all these freaking orders.
You live in Florida.
We are in Florida, the Sunshine State. We're number 1 in COVID. I don't know if that's true anymore. Tennessee may have beat us. Do you own or fly any micro Cinewhoops? I don't own or fly any micro Cinewhoops. I just never found any need for them. Like people love the little micro whoops, but I've just found that the Shendrone squirts are like to me my go-to, like the end all be all best quads as far as Cinewhoops go. I've got 2 of them and I'll probably build a 3rd one so I can have like a backup, but they're my go-tos right now if I'm doing something like super touchy, I guess. Alaska currently holds the number 1 spot for COVID. How is that even possible? How, Jake? How is it even possible? Do you even have enough of people?
Because that's the point. There's not a large population. So if one person gets COVID, 80% of their population had.
Did you just read what Lon wrote? Lon said resin printing is like anal sex. Lots of prep, painful, and tons of cleanup from what I've heard. Oh my God, that is a fucking disaster.
Based on the new infections per capita.
That's
very interesting.
That's insane. I don't know. I haven't really followed along with it. I just know that when I travel from state to state, they made watch when I get off the plane in JFK. The last time I went to New York, they made me sign this affidavit. Like it was this crazy thing. But then again, that was when Como was there. But they made me sign an affidavit. Stupid. What's that?
I almost put it on the camera today, but I did not.
Why didn't you?
It's technically not mine.
Do you just buy shit to look at it, or you buy it to use it? I use the fuck out of my stuff. I'm using one.
If anybody out there is a Sony shooter, which probably not many, but I got this lens. I'm trying to flip it.
Right now, Eddie is just throwing up in his mouth.
He's going Mr. Cannon over there. But yeah,
Yeah. So fuck it.
I have 2 of them. So one of them I'm
You got
hoping
2.
to keep for myself. And
Maxtasy says he wants it.
why are you not using? I tonight
Jake,
was
he
I had
doesn't
so many
he doesn't
camera
respect
issues.
it.
I was not going to snap it on there.
He does not respect the lens, Jake. He does not respect the lens.
Oh,
That was
I
the lens
totally
I
respect
sold.
the lens.
I sold one to Jake. Jake bought my 24.
I
That
know he
went
did.
to-
Yeah, I know he did. Yeah.
I overnighted that shit because it's funny. Like I watch a video and I'm like, I know what lens he's using. Goodbye, fair
lens is
lens.
beautiful.
That was a really good lens. The 24 is a good lens. I use the 30 millimeter now for my videos because I have space to use it. I like the 30 millimeter look. This is a 23 on the Fuji, which is good.
You know, at my work office, in front of my my paper screen or whatever, if I don't use a 35 millimeter, then you see the edge of the walls. So if I shoot with the 24 millimeter, I can't get close enough. Otherwise, my back is like almost touching the screen, the paper screen. So I have to shoot like 35 at work. But in here, it's perfect for 24. So
yeah. Well, I forgot. I gotta get you the logins for the Pilot Institute deal.
Let's hear about this. Because if you guys are interested in getting your Part 107, which if you were a drone pilot, you totally should, just to have it, and it's really good. It opens up a lot of opportunity for you. We have this Pilot Institute, and there's a promo code. Is it still down? You still have it down?
This is the last. I think this is the last month for Pilot Institute's promo. I think you got half off if you use Dobo. So Dobo half off. There's also summer flying, but I think the summer flying is going away. I just did. So what I did was I did my night training through them. So one of the things that the FAA was like, he wasn't yelling at me, but he was like, "Oh, if you're
yeah."
He was like, if you're going to fly at night, you have to have this night train. If you're going to fly 107 at night, you have to have the night training. I didn't have the night training, so I just logged on and did the night training, which was easy. Like it's not hard. It took me 35 minutes to do the night training, whatever. Now that's done. Now the other one is they have one where you can do flying over people. So you get that certification, which, you know what's stupid is that you get these certificates and you have to carry these big fucking piece of papers with you for these certificates. It's stupid. Like to say, oh, I took this test. I took, but they can look it up. They can see it. They can look into your account and they can see it. It's just annoying. So, but I'm doing the one for flying over people now, and there's all sorts of rules, but that one's a little harder. The flying at night is easy, but the one to fly over people is a little more technical. You got to know the weights, and it's goofy, but I figured get it out of the way so that way if it ever comes up, I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to deal with that shit again, I really don't want to deal with that shit again. That sucked. I'm sure it'll come up again, and I'll just give my logs one more time, so it'll be fine. So, but yeah. Again, if you guys haven't gotten your 107, you're wanting to make money with your drone, link down below for the Pilot Institute. Highly recommend it. Super simple course, easy. Greg's gotten, I forgot how many pilots now. I think it was like almost 88,000, maybe more, have gotten their 107 through his course, which is pretty impressive. So,
and I'm about to take it on there. And
then Paul's going to do it as well, so Paul can have his 107 because Paul's wife works in real estate.
She's going to kill me. She's been egging me to get it for a long time.
And it's one of those things where it was probably the best thing that I've ever did, because if I didn't get my 107, I wouldn't have been able to quit my job, because people like real estate agents wouldn't use me if I didn't have the drone. Now that I have the drone aspect, people are using me because I have that under my belt. If I didn't have the drone aspect, I don't think I would have as much business, even though the drone side is only 10% of my business. It's that flair, you know what I mean?
It's because real estate agents want a one-stop shop. They want to know that, because they don't really need a ton of drone shots. If you can say,
no,
hey,
they don't.
For a little bit more money,
but
addition to your package, I can take 2 aerials or something like that.
I am making a new rule. I am making a new rule for clients. I am not shooting for sale by owners anymore. I am not shooting for no more for sale by owners. Like I had to do aerials today for this vacant land, and it was just like it was just too much to deal with. Like we're just shooting a beach property, and it's not even a house built there. It's a vacant land, and they're like wanting this angle and that angle. I'm like, listen, you can take 10 angles and you're still going to get the same price. You're going to get the same amount of buyers. Somebody's either going to like what they see and they want to build a house there, or they're not. That's it. Like you don't have an agent. Get an agent. You need to have a real estate agent. Yeah. I shouldn't be talking to you. You should have a real estate agent. Like I don't like doing, and then they want you to mark the land up, right? They want you to do property outlines on the land. And let me tell you, property outlines have burned me so many times doing property outlines. I get burned because they have to be perfect.
The problem is when I do these for real estate agents, they know, like they're like, I'll take care of the property lines, because if they're wrong, it comes back on them. Like they can come back and say, like, you advertised me that the property lines were bigger, you know.
I thought the property lines had to be done by a surveyor. Like you had to be certified to do those lines. I know there was a big deal where surveyors were going after photographers for adding property lines. I hate doing property lines. I'll be completely honest. When an agent asks me, I'm very reluctant. And I just tell them, I'm like, this is just a guesstimate. This is a guesstimate. I'm not 100% sure. These are not super accurate. I can't certify these lines to GIS data. I can't certify these lines to that data. You're going to have to take it or leave it. I freaking hate that shit. Most expensive drone I have, Matrice. That's the most expensive drone, but that is for inspections only. We don't fly that for real estate. That's for inspection and thermal imaging. I want to see what this message was. So is this drone news? Is this fucking guy serious? This Cyber Deck Cafe. So is this drone news? Yes, it's fucking drone news. It's Drone Brews. Get the fuck out of here.
Bob says you have to be licensed to do any kind of land surveying.
That's what I thought. It's a goofy area, and I try to explain that to the agents. Like I really don't like doing that. I really don't like that. I used to have a guy that would do my markups for me. And he was really cool about it. And he was charging me like $10 to do markups. Like that's how cheap is that, right? You get the photo, edit it, you shoot it over to him, he marks it up, you pay him $10. Bob's your uncle. It's good to go.
Do I use FPV in real estate? And the answer is yes.
I do, but not inside.
Stylistically.
Yeah, stylistically. I don't use FPV inside. I don't think it looks good inside. People try to make it a thing. I mean, it's cool for certain fly-through situations. Like if you want to do a restaurant video and you need it to be a one take, like an amazing one take, yeah, sure. If FPV looks amazing, but not for homes. What's going on, Airwolf? Most county clerks have GIS data that shows the lot lines. It's public access info. Yeah, we have the county, the property appraisers.
Property appraisers here, yeah.
Yeah, the property appraiser has that. But the problem is you have to transfer that data from GIS data, like that photo, to an actual photo. And depending on what angle you have taken, it's not one for one. So, you're running the risk. I did property lines one time. The lady gave the agent the wrong information. She gave her the wrong parcel number. So I shot this parcel and did all this shit. Turns out it was the wrong parcel, and the lady lost her shit. I'm like, you gave us the information. You told us what parcel it was. And from the air, land is fucking land, right? Land is land from the air. I mean, I can't.
It is hard to figure out.
It is so hard.
Am I like taking pictures of the right thing? Like, especially if you're in a completely open like forest.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
You know what would be amazing? Would be if somebody came out with an application that downloaded the data of the parcels, like it, you plug into the county appraiser site and it uses GPS positioning to overlay the properties with outlines. And when that would be, how clutch
cool.
would that be? I mean, I'm asking for a lot here, but that would be amazing. So you knew exactly where, when you took the photo, like here's the overlay, and then you can just overlay it on top of your photo, and boom, you're good to go. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I did 2 vacant lots today. I was pissed.
Now you got to do it before somebody else does, because they're
now I just gave it all. I just gave it all away. Patent pending. I don't know. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing it. I just fucking do it. Get it done. I mean, I just hate dealing with for sale by owners, man. That's the worst. Pix 4D.
Well, it's because they expect the world.
They do. And she wanted a lot, dude. She wanted a lot. They didn't even, it's funny. I sent them the bill. They didn't even pay the bill. They're not getting photos until they pay the bill. They're not getting photos until they pay the bill. They pay the bill, then they can have their photos. That's
them all photos with a huge watermark on it.
Yeah, big old penis watermark. I'm gonna start shooting photo, like when I shoot photos of non-vacant houses, I'm gonna pose in the beds and just see if it ends up on the MLS. I just want to see what agents are actually looking over their photos.
That would be hilarious.
You know what it is? Because sometimes I swear to you, they just upload shit. So I'm just gonna sit there and pose and like be in the shower, like washing my hair or something, and snap off photos. I'm gonna include that in the photos.
You need to get like an Apex imaging sign and like pose naked on the bed and like lay it down on your,
I probably will. I'm not gonna do that, Paul. That's not a good idea, Paul. Thank you though.
It's like marketing 101 right there.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not.
You could have photos that look this good. Oh yeah.
I would like you never to make that face again. I would like you never, don't ever do that again, Paul. That was absolutely repulsive. That's the imagery I just had was horrendous. All right. Well, it's 10:20. We've had a phenomenal show. We've maintained over 100 viewers for the entire stream. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you hanging out, watching the videos. I tell you what, the GoPro Hero 10 has been very, very popular as of late, and I'm having a lot of fun making content with the Hero 10. It's nice to take a break from drones, but still film something that can be mounted to a drone. It's pretty good. Brad Henderson, is Shendrone Slam Squirt footprint bigger or smaller than the Air 2S for comparison? It's about the same size, I would say. Maybe a little smaller. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you, brother. I think this was a good show. Paul.
Even if I came in late, it was a good show.
Yeah, you were late, but I think I did a good job. That happens. The second monitor is really helpful.
That monitor is dead sexy,
dude. It's very helpful to have a monitor here for the chat. To have 2 monitors while I do this, because this will allow me to do streams where I want to do videos and stuff. I need 2 monitors. B-Man says, I hope your printer is working on ducks by the time I see you Saturday. I will tell you, B-Man, that printer has not done ducks. I don't think you'll see ducks by Saturday. I will just be completely honest. That ain't going to happen by Saturday, because I'm hopping on a plane Friday. I have tonight and tomorrow. I don't think the ducks will be ready by then. I really don't. I have ducks that are done, but they're used ducks. They're not new. But all right. Dronco Solutions. All right. Well, if you guys didn't get enough of me tonight, I will be on TNL tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing so many of you tomorrow. Favorite 3D printer is the Ender 3 V2 right now. Ender 3 V2 direct drive. Favorite 3D printer. I will be on TNL tomorrow with Ken Herron. I'm actually co-hosting. This is the first time I'm co-hosting. He calls me yesterday and I missed the call. So I was like, let me call him back. And he's talking to me about the GoPro Hero 10. And he's sort of lingering the conversation. And I'm like, this is it. It's gonna happen. I'm like, I'm like, woo! And then I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. And then he popped the question. And I said yes. I said yes. I said I will co-host tomorrow. I will co-host.
Nice.
But then he said, I didn't even ask you anything yet. I said, well, I'll do it anyways. I'll co-host. And he's like, all right, well, I guess I'll tell Jake Sloan he can't co-host this week. So sorry, Jake. Sorry. You know, it's going to be a Ken invasion tomorrow.
Sorry, Jake Sloan.
So no, it's going to be good. I'm not going to be drunk per se. You know how he is. But I'm going to probably be drunk. His audience, like the vast majority of his audience aren't like, they're not my audience is still different. Like it's amazing. This small drone scene, people's audiences don't bleed over like we would imagine. But there's some of his audience, they don't like me. Can you imagine that? They don't like me.
You guys have a separate sense of humor.
I'm an acquired taste. He's got a more of like a ha ha ha. I'm a little drier and aggressive with my sense of humor is a little more how do you put it, Paul? Would you say it's aggressive? Vulgar? It's not vulgar. It's not vulgar is not a word.
Aggressive.
You know, it's not vulgar. It's I don't know. I feel like my channel's like the strip drone. The
strip club of drones.
Strip club of drones. Yeah. My channel's like the strip club of drones. It's an acquired taste.
Oh, sorry.
B-Man, if there's any hope, I'll wake up super early. I'll have 4 printers running. God help him, dude. I swear. I don't want to rush these ducks, though. I want them to look good, though. The hardest part is printing the actual physical ducks. I gotta find what I need to do is just find filament that I have like 3 rolls of filament on, and then I just print B-Man his ducks.
Ken Heron is like the retired people humor. Ken Dono is like the drunk guy from the bar kind of humor.
Yeah, you know, it's gonna be a good time. People think I'm an alcoholic, though. They really do. They're like, I had an email the other day from a concerned viewer, and they said, I'm really concerned. I'm not going to put this person on blast. But they said, we're concerned. I've been watching you for a long time, and I've noticed that your alcohol intake has increased more since COVID started, and I'm just concerned that you're becoming an alcoholic. And I read the email, and I said to the guy, I appreciate you watching my show. I said, I appreciate you watching the show. Thank you for being a longtime viewer. And I said, fuck you. It's my body, my choice. That was how I closed it. I said, fuck you. It's my body, my choice. So, I mean, I think it went over really well. I handled it well. I thanked him, and then I told him to basically fuck off.
Ken Dono is not allowed to drink when he comes to Hawaii.
No, we're gonna drink
big wave beer content.
No, he's got beer. Don't let him lie. We're gonna go for a tour at the Kona Brewery.
I thought he sent you some beer from Hawaii.
I can't even talk. We're gonna go for a tour at the Kona Brewery. We're gonna go for a tour. We're gonna go for a tour. Hey Alexa, turn off the charging station. Fucking thing was going off.
You need to turn mine off too.
I think it was 808 State that just sent me that email. He sent that email. He sent the email. That's some shit right there, huh? Did he send that email? I don't know. We're losing viewers at this point. Paul, you want to sing a song, Paul? You want to sing a song?
It might be copyright strike though.
What type of song do you want to sing, Paul? You ling me. You. How do we sing a song, Paul? Let's sing a song.
We got original. We got original. Wow. Woo.
I want you. I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh.
Paul. Spread your ass cheeks. Paul, I've got a 20. I'll slip it right in the crack of your ass, Paul. I can't see it, Paul. I can't see it. You're not on the there. You do it, Paul. You do it. You do it. Come on, Paul. Take it right in there. In there.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do could stop me cold in my tracks,
All right, I went ahead and ended it. Do you think did you think I went a little too far with that bit with the 20? You think that was too far? Your wife's gonna be pissed. Are you fucking seriously making googly eyes? The show's over, Paul. That's
You told me not to do it again.
I did tell you not to do it again, Paul. I think I went too far. Like, should I have used the $5? I think a 20 was a little too strong. Like, usually when I'm in the strip club, if I pull out a 20,
I mean, listen, I'll take whatever money I can get
business.
so I can pay for this sucker. I mean, man, I'll take it. You know, I'll take whatever I can get.
I feel like I'm just gonna keep this one. This one's for me. This one's for me. I'll just keep.
Should I just go ahead and take the shirt off? Oh, sorry.
No. Keep your shirt on, please. For the love of Christ, keep your shirt on.
My wife would not like that.
I did want to talk to you about your tardiness. All right. You need to be on time. You need to be ready to go. When it's Drone Brews, when it's Wednesday, you need to commit to this. If you're going to be in this relationship, Paul, I need to know you're all in. I know you're not getting paid. I know you're overworked. I know I ask you to do a lot of things that I wouldn't ask somebody who is getting paid to do, but I need to know you're all in, Paul. So do I have your commitment, Paul? I just need to.
Am I getting the boss talk right now? I mean,
no, I'm not. No. It's not a boss talk, Paul. This is just me and you as friends.
I want you.